just had a Marco Rubio moment there. Sorry. Hey, hope everyone's having a great day. It's great to see everybody. I thought the last couple days offensively, we've started to put things together a little bit, and the timing's been better, the cohesiveness has been better, the communication's been better. So that's been really good to see, and I'm happy where we are right now. It's that time of camp to go play against somebody else, and the defense knows our calls, we know their calls, right? It's getting a little chippy out there, so it's time to take some chippiness out on somebody else. And I'll tell you, Denver's a great matchup for us. Our young players are going to get press coverage. So to get, to play football in this league, you have to be able to get off press coverage. So it's going to be great for our guys to be able to experience that and go out for the first time and play against somebody else.
What do you hope to see from Kirk on Saturday?
Just to move the football. And, first time out with our guys, the operation being clean. Getting in and out of the huddle on time. Myself getting the plane on time. Limit pre-snap mistakes. Not jumping off sides, lining up correctly, or motion landmarks, all those things. So, that's what we're looking forward to Kirk seeing in all of our offensive guys. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it goes along with playing against our defense every day. And they're going to play probably a little bit more man than our defense plays. So it'd be a good change for us that we're not playing the exact same scheme. We're playing a different scheme. And I'm really excited to watch some of our young wideouts and tight ends, get off press coverage.
Just going around town and what have you, how much excitement does there seem to be about Kirk's debut? Finally, people get to see him in a real game.
Well, you would probably know that more than me because I'm in this building pretty late and early into the morning. But there's reason to be excited. I mean, there's definitely reason to be excited right now if you're a Vikings fan. And we have high expectations for ourselves. We have high expectations for Kirk and for everybody. So we're really looking forward to going out and competing. I'm going to be on the field to start. Okay, I'm going to be on the field to start, and I just want to start down there and see how it goes. There might be a time during preseason I go upstairs. It's going to see how it goes this first week, and we're going to give it a trial run downstairs. There's benefits and drawbacks to everything. I think you get to talk to the quarterbacks down there. I think you get a better feel for the pulse of the team when you're downstairs. Now, that being said, your vantage point is not as good as it is upstairs. But we're very fortunate to have some really good coaches on our offense side of the ball that are going to be able to provide information and know what we're trying to look for in terms of being able to attack their defense. I was down, but that was also 2015 where they did not have the option of coach to quarterback from the box. So you had to go through a middleman, which is at least 2 to 3 seconds. I mean, so if the play clock's running down, that's an issue. So you had to go through a middleman if you were upstairs at that time. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, anytime, whether it be preseason game, regular season game, I think when you're missing a bunch of starters, I think you have to protect your guys. And we'll know very early how we're holding up front. I anticipate us holding up really, really good because we're playing a darn good defensive line out here and holding up pretty good. So I'm really proud of how our young guys have stepped up front. I think it hasn't been perfect. Sometimes it's not 100% fundamentally sound. It turns into a little bit of a street fight. But obviously the toughness factor is there, and we plan on executing well on Saturday night. Sure. I think you're always trying to do that because you never want the defense just to say, hey, he's going to be 7.5 yards deep, the quarterback, that being said. I think you always want to be able to change launch points, whether it be on a keep or on a naked waggle pass where you're setting up in the opposite side A, boot block protection where you're opposite side C. So I think you're always trying to change the launch point, especially against a team like Denver that has a tremendous amount of speed and they're very, very physical. Well, obviously we wish we had everybody healthy, but we don't, and that's the nature of the beast. I mean, it's the next man up mentality, and there's no one that's going to feel sorry for us because guys are out. I mean, we got to go play, and the guys that are going to play well. We expect them to play well. So, sure, well, we'd love to have our starting five out there, but unfortunately, that's not the case. Sure. I think it's going to be a couple things. Number one, I think obviously just getting in there and doing it physically. Here it's different hearing Kirk's cadence on the sidelines or behind the huddle than it is actually hearing his cadence at the line of scrimmage when you have Linval Joseph lining up across from you, okay, or whoever we're playing. It happens to be that out here at practice. So that, number one, is doing it live. Number two, I think anytime you come back from an injury, I think there is a confidence factor that needs to be built up. And he's a very confident guy, but I think you see anybody that coming off an injury where you test it out a little bit before you go 100% full speed. I tell you, he has stepped in and done well, really, really well. I'm proud of him. I tell you, he plays with great leverage. He has strong hands. He stays low to the ground. He's smart. He hasn't messed up a snap yet in terms of the cadence. So he's done a fantastic job of stepping in there, and we're happy where he's at. Yeah, I'll tell you, they keep playing well, and I think you see them catching the football, running hard. Each guy will have a really good play, and then they'll have an average play. So we're really looking forward this next week, 10 days. One of those guys really trying to take the forefront in that spot.
You were in Cleveland, you had different quarterbacks working with. Now you know who you're going to be working with.
Yep.
How do you envision the communication on the sideline with Kirk coming over to you? Will you have the freedom to say, hey, I want to call this play in a certain situation or something like that?
It's always a collaborative effort on game day, always. At the end of the day, I always tell our quarterbacks this: you guys are the ones out there throwing it, not me. Okay, so we want them to be as comfortable as they can in everything that we do. And that starts in the middle of the week. If there's a play that we practice a couple times that needs another week of seasoning, we call it, okay, it's out of the plan because if they don't feel comfortable throwing it. So you're always making adjustments to the game plan up until the beginning of the week and in the game, whether it be a route, whether it be a protection, the way you're calling something up front, all those things. You're in constant communication on everything. All of them, and I don't want to single anyone out because I want to see them all perform well, and they've been doing a nice job out here, but it's different when you're going against somebody else. In your first, a lot of these guys, it's going to be their first NFL action. So not only do you want to see guys perform physically, but how are they going to handle this situation mentally as well? Is it going to be too big for some guys, right? Is it going to be where they forget their technique? That's what you see a lot in young players. They'll come out here where it's a comfortable environment. They know the fields, they know the locker room, and all of a sudden a different colored jersey shows up in front of them, and they forget every single technique that you've taught them. So we want to see our guys, what we say, take things from the meeting room to the field for our young players, and we're really looking forward to seeing them doing that. I don't want to say anyone's not ready because I think all these guys are NFL players, so I think they're all going to be ready. But obviously, some guys are more battle-tested and game-tested than others. So I think there's going to be certain times where you use certain protections to help people. And I think you have to do that. And that's coaching. You just don't go throw a guy out in an island and expect him to go block Von Miller one-on-one. So you got to help them. There's certain situations where we'll have some things up protection-wise to help some, either the right side of the line, left side of the line. And that's, to me, that's coaching and helping your guys out.
Fatigue-wise, in this time, lost
Yeah.
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 Now he's got to go to high altitude. How's he going?
I'm just happy he's feeling better as a person. I mean, it was hard to see him going through that. I mean, he couldn't hold any food down. He couldn't practice. So, as a person, I just felt so bad for him because, you don't want to see anybody go through that. And so we're just happy he's back and feeling better. And you'll see his stamina continue to grow as we go along here. Oh, he's been great. He's been great. Anytime you have a guy as a number 2 quarterback that has played games and played well in games, I think that's a good thing. Number 2, the relationship between the number 1 quarterback and the number 2 quarterback has to be really good, or you're not going to have a very functional quarterback room. And if one guy is trying to overtake the other guy, or the starter is not treating the number two, they're not collaboratively working to beat the opponent that Sunday, then I think personally you're in for some problems. So the fact that those two guys don't have an ego, they work great together, has been a real asset to not only our quarterback room but our team.
Last couple for Coach.
Of who? Rashad. He's done great. Obviously, he needs to get in a little bit better shape and gain some of that weight back. But I was pleased where he was before the spring, coming out of the spring, and obviously the first practice he came out and was sick. So we're just looking forward again, like I said, him feeling better and getting his stamina back. The slot competition, yeah. Again, there's two guys in there. I think you'll see in practice, we're getting a lot more guys in there with the second and third squads. And I think it's a little bit early in camp. We wanted to get the majority of the offense in and let Adam take the majority of those snaps and let Kendall take the majority of those snaps with the second team. But now I think you're going to see us mix and matching a little bit as we get closer to actual real football, of getting more guys in there and testing them out to see what they can do. Knowing what's important and what's not. And the first time you do it, you want everything to be so perfect. Every single little detail. And that doesn't mean we don't want that now, okay? But there's the old saying, don't sweat the small stuff. You kind of figure out what the small stuff is. And that's the one thing I learned, and especially in a tough situation. So I learned to really know what's important. I feel like, Coach Zimmer and I communicate very, very well. And I know, kind of what the important things are to stress and what's kind of to lay off on.